Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Covenant. Appreciate the invitation. I'm not very good at standing still, so if you'll forgive me, I'm going to grab the mic and probably move around a little bit. So counter to today's theme, one of the things I wanted to talk about is raising pillars and silos. So one of the things we found, we were going down this path of building a CRM platform, and we had this concept of the 360-degree view. So we went to the executive team and we said, we just want to talk to you and do our pitch because we're going to ask you for some money. And one of the things we established was the 360-degree view of the customer. Okay, well, what's the 360-degree view of the customer? We had to go figure that out. And one of our leaders, Senior Vice President of Sales, said, you can do anything you want, but if you do anything that will prevent us from delighting the customer, I'm out. But if you focus on delighting the customer, then I'm all in. So I want to talk about breaking down barriers and building bridges instead of raising walls inside the organization. So at Hussmann, we have 7 behaviors that are really the fabric that weave us together and the way we act in our culture. And it's really, really powerful for us, and it's been very, very effective in the way we work together. So customer focus and the relentless pursuit of success on the customer side. Respectful courage, where you reach across the table and you say, you know what, I disagree and here's why. So having the ability to step up and be honest and straightforward and forthright, saying I disagree, but not doing it in a disagreeable fashion. Personal accountability, hold yourself accountable first, and then hold each other accountable at the team level. One of the things we talk about doing, but maybe we could improve. Being a team player, right? No team wins unless everybody's fully engaged and everybody's committed to one mutual success, the success of the team. An owner mindset. Things about, this is my money, this is my company, this is my place. And I've had the great fortune of working here in St. Louis at a number of different places and working for Bradford & Galt, as Scott pointed out. David Vellotto, who is the Chief Operating Officer at Bradford & Galt, invited me to join him in St. Louis in 1995, and we've been friends ever since. And I've had the great opportunity of working for Bradford & Galt. And one of the reasons why is because inside that organization, and David promotes being a team player and having an owner mindset. So the next one is being solution-driven, right? Come in the room and say, oh, I've got an issue, but what am I going to do about it, right? Think about how we're going to collectively solve the challenges that we face. And then challenge and change. The only thing that's constant is change. Challenge the status quo. The 8th dimension, as you'll see the circle around those 7 behaviors, is now stewardship. So this year we embarked on a different leg of our journey to add stewardship. Stewardship in the community, stewardship with the people that we work with, families, friends, neighbors, etc. And it's added another dimension to do these kinds of things outside of the office as well. So the 360-degree view. I love this because I think it's funny, right? What is it? Well, we think we know their sales group, maybe we know their maintenance group. And if anyone doesn't know what Hussmann is, if you've ever gone to a grocery store or a convenience store and you've opened a door to get something that's cold or chilled, we probably had something to do with it. So when we talk about the customer, usually it's store managers or quality managers or dairy managers that are interested in cases and systems to keep their stuff cold. But really, what did we have to go after to get a 360 view of the customer? And looking at all the different aspects. We're not just going to do business with somebody and sell a refrigeration unit, to sell a case to put your dairy products in or your reach-ins for your Coke and water. Really, it's about understanding what they need in their business and losing money on inventory if it's not kept cold. And then you're going to go into service. Who's there? Who shows up when the case shows up to install it? Then afterward, if there's a problem, who goes out and services it? Then it's under warranty. Who replaces the parts under warranty? And it's that ability to connect all those dots. But we talk about the 360-degree view, but really what we fail to do is we fail to have a 360-degree view internally to our own organization. So if we talk all day long about delighting the customer and doing the right thing for the customer, but at the end of the day, we need to do things internally in our organization to better support our customer in that 360-degree view. Deming had 14 points for management, and I want to focus on one of them, number 9. Number 9 was breaking down barriers between all the staff areas. We talk about, when we call on a customer, we talk about calling on this customer or that customer inside a particular organization. But, but this is about barriers that we have internally in our own organizations that we have to break down. Is engineering and manufacturing, are we talking to them? Are we connecting the dots between marketing, sales, engineering, communications, manufacturing, and then IT. So here it is, right? Customer focus was the first item I talked about, and I want to bring that up again. We talk about customer focus. The customer's always right, delighting the customer, keep the customer happy. Whatever you do, just don't disrupt my customer or my customer's business, or I'm out. So the 360-degree view of the customer, what is it really? And how can we do a better job of servicing our customer from a 360-degree standpoint if we ourselves are fragmented in our own organizations? So this is where I bring the technology piece into play. CIO or BSO? Are there any CIOs in the room? I think I saw a few. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are there any BSOs in the room? I love this one. I was listening to the CIO of Castrol who said, I'm really not a CIO, I'm the BS officer. And then he went on to say that I'm not an information guy, I'm a business guy that's focused on business solutions and not so much technology. I just happen to sit in that area of the building. So while I'm a CIO by title, I really want to be referred to as a business solutions officer. So technology projects are led by information technology professionals. The metrics are around project management and maybe not so clear stakeholder direction and communication. So how do we change that perspective? Through business solutions, focusing on providing value to the business. Understand what the business's metrics are and how they measure themselves will help us deliver value if we're in line and in lockstep with them. We always talk about being in lockstep with our customer. Well, there are internal customers and we need to do a better job at building bridges and tearing down walls. And the pillars that we build shouldn't be pillars of smoke or smoke and mirrors. They should be pillars of stone to hold up capstones, those kinds of things. Continuous communication and customer engagement. Organizational change management. I love that, organizational change management. For this audience, when we talk about change management, we tend to go right to project management change management, project change management, those types of things. Organizational change management is focusing on risk mitigation in the business when we're delivering solutions to truly help the business deliver value to our end customers that are external to the organization. So pillars, I thought this was fun because it has pillars of stone, wood, steel, and then there's also pillars of smoke, and those are the ones you really want to get rid of. So the valuable pillars are results-focused, process management, and having consistency. Controls through project management are very necessary. Knowledge management, building competencies, education internally, educating others, mentoring programs. At Hussmann, we have a really, really terrific program of interns, and this past summer we had 54 interns. Some of them go on after they graduate and come back to Hussmann. I can list at least a half a dozen people that are at Hussmann today that I work with or see every day that started in the intern program. My nephew is one of them. Resource management, having the right people with the right skills and the right behaviors. And I want to talk a little bit about something that we used internally at Hussmann called the prime team concept. So eliminate pillars that are ineffective or weak. I'm sure we've heard about those unwilling but able resources, sometimes referred to as the cancer in the locker room, those kinds of things. There's probably a place for them, but it shouldn't be on our teams. Maybe somebody else would like to have those types of resources. People that avoid accountability, lack of trust amongst team members. That's another one I love. I'm an avid reader, and I love to read the likes of Patrick Lencioni. I know there are a couple people in the room that have probably also read Patrick Lencioni. The first book I read was The 5 Temptations of a CEO. And then he put the different spin on it from the bottom up, and he looked at the team and wrote the 5 dysfunctions of a team. And the 5 dysfunctions of a team, along with a book written by Stephen Covey called The Speed of Trust, provide some other valuable input and a couple of other items, and we built this internal concept called the prime team concept. So another quote here, John Wooden said, "Never mistake activity for achievement, and failure's not fatal, but failure to change might be." So on the silos side, barriers that create organizational politics. Big walls, big walls. So some of those things are lack of value-focused activities, waste, right? Lack of common objectives, common metrics, and business knowledge. Get into our customer's organization and find out what they do. What is a day in the life of your organization? So when I go back to the IT office space, I can do a better job of saying, I do understand what you're doing. And then we build business solutions in the business solutions department. not in the IT department. I had to go back here for a second. Hello. So this bottom one here is lack of common nomenclature. So my boss and I went to the head of engineering, who's one of our customers. We support engineering, manufacturing, finance, sales, and marketing. Just a couple of things. We went to the engineering department, and in our very first meeting, we were taking over the PLM platform, and the first question out of his mouth was, what does ECN stand for? Well, I'm a smart guy. That's engineering change notice. I know the answer, I'm hitting the buzzer right off the bat. And we went around the room, and to every person in the room, it was engineering change notice. But then he said to us, no, it's enterprise change notice. Wow, eye-opener for all of us. Because it truly is an enterprise change notice. It affects multiple departments around the organization. It affects manufacturing, it affects engineering. It affects the people buying pieces and parts and sourcing groups. So that's an example of where we need to know better what they do and where they focus. So the formula for success, thematically, the Gartner Group, I think, coined this a while back: people, process, and technology. The people are always the strongest pillar, and having the right people, and I'm going to talk about the prime team concept. People that are flexible, people that are willing to do the hard work, the heavy lifting. And then the process, having efficient processes, documented processes, consistent, common, and shared throughout the organization. And then, of course, the technology is just the enabling pieces, and then leveraging your technology to be integrated, be innovative. The latest technology, yeah, sometimes. Sometimes the latest technology works, and sometimes it doesn't. But the prime concept for us that I want to talk about is, in the 5 dysfunctions of a team, it talks about inattention to results, lack of accountability, the lack of having constructive conflict, the ability to disagree but not be disagreeable about it, and then commitment. Do what you say you're going to do and say what you're going to do. And then the last one in the prime team concept is, and also in the 5 dysfunctions of a team, is trust or lack of trust. So we coupled those 5 things from the 5 dysfunctions of a team, which is required reading at the management and leadership levels. And we coupled that with the speed of trust from Stephen Covey, and we built the internal prime team concept. And the concept is about having a leaderless organization and sponsoring those habits, those behaviors throughout the organization, and doing the same thing everywhere we are. So we hold each other accountable, and using the 7 Hussmann behaviors to do it the right way, to do it in a positive fashion, to do it in a constructive fashion, and everybody moves forward with one goal in mind, and that's to achieve success. John Wooden said, success is defined as knowing you've done everything possible to achieve your goal. So enablers, just a couple of things on our software. We use the Microsoft Office Suite, but this one right here, I love this, the 4 ERPs. We have 4 factories. They each have a different ERP. We have 2 instances from the same company in Bonn, outdated, and they're different versions. They're set up differently to support different product lines. So we have some work to do on our integrations. An engineer-to-order solution, we call it Project Compass. We're working on that as a project to provide a simple, single quoting platform across the organization. And then many others with a consistent integration strategy using middleware and other things. We have an order processing system initiative underway to put a layer in place where we can communicate with all of our ERPs and our order management systems consistently. Yeah, there's the little teetering going on. So strategic partners, Microsoft, of course, is always there for us and always been supportive. We use the entire Office Suite for productivity. Hitachi Solutions has helped us with a CRM platform. Engineering Intent is helping us with our engineer-to-order Project Compass, our configure, price, quote platform. And then Barry Waymiller helped us with our PLM platform. And then Covenant Technology Partners doing a variety of things. They host our internet, our intranet. They've done things for us on Department of Energy compliance, helped us build QR codes so we could slap a QR code on our cases. You put the QR code on the case, and when you go to the field, then a service or installer comes and they show up and they go, oh, I've never seen this kind of case before. You can take your mobile phone out and scan the QR code, and it brings up installation manuals, it brings up safety videos, it brings up a whole variety of things that they can follow while they're there and on site with the customer, as well as the full exploded bill of materials, got to be careful how I say that, the fully exploded bill of materials, so if there's a part that's missing or a part that's needed, they can order it right on the spot. So some great work there with Covenant Technology Partners. So raising pillars and silos is about a true business 360-degree view, our own business view internally. If we expect to do a great job of delighting the customer, satisfying the customer, doing the right thing by the customer, and if we expect to go back and ask for repeat business, we have to do all those things. But we have to start with ourselves first and tear down those awful walls that separate us, communicate better, and for us, it's using the 7 behaviors, the 8th now in stewardship, to be successful, if we expect to be successful for our customers. Thank you.